Coming up with your own trading strategy is one of the most frustrating parts of when you first start trading. We're going to tell you a few tips in this video, guys, on how we can simplify this and make this easier. So let's go. 3 tips coming your way on how to build your own trading strategy.
I was going to say keep it simple, stupid, but look,
that's mine.
I know. But like you want your first strategies to be quantifiable, right? Like you want it to be something that you can easily replicate. Identify the rules so that when you're record keeping and trying to actually back and forward test your idea, what you've got to do, it's something that's not too ambiguous or you can make up nuances for it. So that's why I'm going to use an example here, something pretty simplistic. And I know sometimes these seems overly simplistic and it's like, oh, it can't be that easy, but it's just to demonstrate a point. So a few things here, and I'll point out a small cap, a couple of things. You have on a daily chart, you have this clearly breaking out, right? Like here's the bottom end of the range. This is your 200 period, your 50 period, breaking out on both of those 2 time frames already. I'm going to get into talking about it here. And you have a nice consolidation range, right? So you have a clear path that you can say, yes, it's got a bottom channel. It has been in a bit of a downward trend. It's breaking out on both major moving averages. It's already done the break, so you're not worried about that. I'm not talking about guessing and capturing this. It then, in the last session, consolidates at the top. Right? So there's your consolidation at the top. And then the next morning, you come in this morning as we do this, and you have a consolidation right at those same levels. This sets up for a trade of a simple breakout. It's take the top end of the consolidation, give it to the bottom end, whether you want to use the pre-market today or the bottom of the channel the day before, either or, that's for you to be able to test. But that's something that has a few key points to it. You're picking one direction. I'm only going to try long strategies, right? Like work on the shorts later or whichever one you want to start with. A lot of times start with longs if you're just starting out. And then that's your trade. You can easily back and forward test it, find the stocks that fall into that pattern, and then you keep it relatively simple. And don't try to jump from, oh, I'm doing that breakout trade, but then I'm also doing this by the dip. No, when you start out, pick one thing, stick with it, make sure it's easy to quantify, and go from there.
So that's a great point. I'm going to almost do the same thing here, but I'm going to talk about stock-specific names. And I think that once you've identified what works for you, as far as like maybe levels breaking or a strategy like Neil was just talking about there, I feel like in the beginning, when you're building a strategy, at least this is what's worked for me, stay on the same names or stay on a similar topic, right? Like when earnings are popping off or there's big news about something, you have to trade those names. You don't have to trade them, but you have to look at them. And I would use Neil's strategies there, his kind of tips to say, okay, now what stocks might this work on, right? Because you're going to need to have names that have volume behind them, which leads me to what I want to talk about right here. And that is, honestly, it's just my sticky note. And I started it because of the simple reason that I wanted everybody to understand what I'm looking at every single day. And I'm just going to go quickly through this. I don't expect you guys to see this at all, because I know it's hard to see. But like today's sticky note, Ford, Rivian, AMD, Citigroup, right? Yesterday's sticky note, look, watch. Ford, AMC, Rivian, SoFi, right? Why is SoFi on there? Earnings, right? Why is Rivian on there? They had that price increase. News. Look at what a cute guy. Here he is. There he is, Trader Pratt. Okay, the day before that, what's on here? Lucid, the same thing as the day before. SoFi's on here. AMC's on there. Look at the similar names. Scroll down to the day before that. Lucid, Palantir, AMC, WFC, right? Scroll down again and again and again. Down onto here, Palantir, AMD, Microsoft, Facebook. So those of you, that watch the show kind of understand what I'm getting at here. And that is very, very simple, is stay with your simple strategies like Neil was talking about, things that you've backtested, things that you've worked on, but then try to stay in your lane. You'll hear me say, I don't really want to trade energy names because I'm not familiar with the relationship between, what the NASDAQ is going to do versus the oil market versus the equity. So I'm going to stay away from those. But as you can see on that list, I'm comfortable trading AMC, I'm comfortable trading Microsoft, Palantir, some of those other names that are on there. So I would say when you're building up strategies, don't jump from this name to that name to this name to that name. Have a basket of stocks that you like to trade and reasons why you're going to trade those. So that's how I would keep it simple.
Fantastic points. I'll add to both of them in the sense of keep track, keep accurate records so that you can build your confidence. If nothing more, having a track record of how your trading is going gives you confidence to continue in that direction. If you see then a problem arising from your records, that's when you have to adjust the strategy. So a few tips there, guys, on how you can not only build a strategy, but fine-tune it once you have it.